The first book is Should I Share My Ice Cream by Mo Willems. This book is about an elephant named Gerald who goes and gets himself an ice cream cone, but then he tries to decide whether or not he should share it with his best friend Piggy. While Gerald's trying to decide, his ice cream is slowly melting, and when he finally decides to share it, it's all gone. But it's okay because Piggy actually got her own ice cream and she shares it with Gerald. This book actually shows a consequence to not sharing and to not making the decision to share by having Gerald's ice cream melt. But in the end, he did decide to share with Piggy, and so he's rewarded with ice cream. The activity for this book was inspired by a blog post I found on sunnydayfamily.com. You make ice cream cones out of cardstock and foam balls or balloons or plastic balls, whatever you have, for the ice cream. And so you give all the kids an ice cream cone, but half of them get ice cream, and they go up to each other and they can either ask, will you share your ice cream with me? Or they can go with the kid with no ice cream and say, should I share my ice cream? And they just pass it to each other, back and forth, and practice sharing. Kitty shows how to share while developing fine motor skills of holding the ice cream cones. The next book is called The Doorbell Ring by Pat Hutchins. This story is about Victoria and Sam and their mom who makes them a batch of cookies. When they start out, they each get 6 cookies, but when the doorbell keeps ringing and more people keep coming over, they get to have less and less cookies. Until finally Grandma shows up with a big plate and they all get a bunch of cookies. This book involves a lot of repetition, which children are able to identify as a pattern, with the mom saying, no one makes cookies like Grandma, over and over. And it also teaches about having to share over and over instead of just with one person. So this activity involves a plate of cookies, which are made of paper. And you start with one child, 1 or 2, having the plate of cookies, and then the doorbell rings. And the kids have to decide how to divide up the cookies with the next kid that comes in. And you keep repeating that until each child is down to 1 cookie. And so this shows them the repetition and the sharing over and over again. And it also is a counting exercise because they have to divide up a limited amount of cookies when kids keep showing up. The next story is It's Mine by Leo Leone. The story is about the 3 frogs, Milton, Rupert, and Lydia, who live on an island and constantly bicker about sharing their space. Mr. Toad comes over and tells them to stop bickering because they are basically annoying him, and they refuse. And one day it begins to flood, and the 3 frogs hop from rock to rock trying to find a safe place until they finally land on a large rock that they can all share. And in the end, it turns out that the big rock was the toad, and he saved them. So this book is about sharing space specifically, and the importance of not arguing and cooperating and working together for a common goal. So I have 2 activities for this story, the first being a paper plate craft, because paper plates are very inexpensive and you can make a lot of different things out of them. So this is the paper plate frog with the little googly eyes and his tongue. And this is a take-home craft so kids can remember the library program that they went to. The second is a game that is very similar to The Floor is Lava, where you basically mark out areas using either carpet tiles or tape or something like that. And you start rain sounds, which are very easy to find on YouTube. And so, while you play the rain sounds, the children have to gather up in those marked areas, and you slowly eliminate them until there are very few left, so the kids have to practice sharing their space. The next book is called Rabbit's Gift, written by George Shannon and illustrated by Laura Dronzik. This story is about Rabbit, who is looking for food in the snow when he comes across 2 turnips. But he only needs 1, and so he passes it off to Donkey because he thinks Donkey might not have enough food. But Donkey does have enough food, so Donkey passes it off to Goat, and the story continues until Rabbit ends up with the turnip again, and so he decides to share it with all of his friends. So this story shows that sharing can be rewarding because Rabbit ends up having the turnip again, and then she gets to have a super cool picnic with all her friends. So for this activity, we're going to play hot turnip, which is basically hot potato, with a turnip that I made out of a foam ball again, from the same package of foam balls I got for the ice cream, and then just some little green thingies. So in this game, the kids get to get up, they get to stretch and move, And they can also connect passing the turnip around to rabbit, passing the turnip to donkey, and then to goat, and then to deer. So they make connections that way. The last book is The Rainbow Fish by Marcus Pfister. So this book has been around for a long time. It's actually from my childhood too. It's about a fish who has all these beautiful rainbow scales, and when one of the other fish asks for one, he refuses, and so none of the fish want to hang out with him. But he learns from the octopus that he should share, and that even though he'll be giving up something precious to him, he'll be making everyone else happy, which will make him happy too. So this book shows how sharing with other people can make them happy and make you more friends, and it also shows the importance of helping those who don't have any when you have plenty. So for the activity, we are using paper plates again. This time we're making fish. And so you will have the kids make their own fish with all these cut out paper scales. But if you notice, there are no rainbow scales, none of the shiny ones that rainbow fish had. So when the kids do start to notice that, that is when you bring out rainbow fish. And so I haven't completely attached all of the scales. They're detachable. And so the idea is that when rainbow fish comes swimming by, you teach the kids a rhyme that is, rainbow fish, swimming in the sea, will you please share your scales with me? And that's when you take one of rainbow fish's special scales and you give it to the child to put on their fish. This activity teaches the kids the perspective of the fish that don't have any scales, and it teaches them to ask for something saying please.